Development Authority on Tuesday, September 9th, 2014, at 7:30 a.m. We do have a quorum present. The first item of business of the approval of the minutes from the meeting of August 19th of this year. What are your wishes?
I would make a motion approving the minutes.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second approving the minutes from the regular EDA meeting held on August 19th, 2014. Any comments, questions regarding them? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Item 2 is the EDA staff regarding administrative activities during the month. Heather?
All right, good morning. We will start with the Section 8 program review. Note on pages 1 and 2 of your report, we had 102 vouchers on the program for the month of August. Housing assistance payments from HUD exceeded payments to landlords by about $800 for the month. Monthly administrative fee disbursements exceeded expenses by just over $2,700 for the month. HUD did a reconciliation and determined that they had underpaid us in admin fees, so we got some extra money. That's why that number is a little higher than normal this month. So that was some good news. Note on pages 3 and 4 of the report the unaudited balances as of August 31st. And note on page 5 of the report, we have 98 vouchers on the program as of September 1st, with a waiting list of 93. Staff did receive notice from a local apartment complex that they will be implementing a significant rent increase effective November 1st. Evidently, they have paid off their mortgage and are able to bring all their units to market rate rent. They used to have 2 tiers. They had a subsidized rent and a market rate rent, depending on the income of the tenant. Now that they've paid off their mortgage, they're going to bring the entire complex to the market rate rent. So it's a significant rent increase ranging from $72 to $83 a month, depending on the size of the unit. So I did some estimates to see how that was going to affect our Section 8 HAP payments to that landlord. And it will result in an increase of $1,100 to $1,200 a month out of our HAP payments beginning in November. So as we're anticipating that, we have stopped issuing new vouchers at this time.
Good, good.
So anticipating that change coming up.
Any comments or questions about that from anyone? Taking a look at it? Okay.
Moving on then to the public housing program, note the monthly and year-to-date program activity on pages 6 and 7 of your report. As of August 31st, expenses have exceeded revenues by just over $3,800 for the month. Note the cash asset summary on the bottom of the page. And on page 8, Broadway House is fully leased with 32 on the wait list, and on page 9, the family units are fully leased with 35 on the waiting list. We are scheduled for a HUD physical inspection on Monday, September 15th. So we have been preparing for that and feel like we're in good shape. It's been 3 years since our last inspection. If we receive a good score again this year, it'll be another 3 years before they come back.
Good.
Hoping for a good score. The electrical upgrade project has been completed now in the family units. And 2 upcoming projects, we have the GPNA and the deck replacement projects that will be beginning in the near future. I had asked them to wait until after our HUD inspection is behind us before we start on anything new. So those will be starting very soon.
Any questions on Heather regarding any of that on public housing? Okay, thank you.
All right. Moving on then to the EDA fund on page 10 of the report. Note the revenue and expenditure status, cash assets of just over $393,000. We've got construction at the spec house at 632 Fender Drive is at a standstill at this time. We've got a cabinet on back order. They expect that to come in later in September, around the 20th, they thought. So then we should be back in business once we get that final cabinet in so the carpenters can finish their work. And construction at the 612 house is progressing nicely. and anticipating construction on both houses should be completed during the month of October.
Do we have much interest in either or both?
I know a realtor showed both houses and had someone that was interested in the, would be the 612 house with the red siding.
The red siding one, yes.
So, and as soon as we can get the houses ready, they're planning to have an open house.
Open house, okay.
So, moving on then to the property rehabilitation loan program on page 11 of the report, note available funds of $309,561 as of August 31st. There's been no new activity in that account. And the rental property fund on page 12, note revenue and expenditure status, cash assets of $60,782.
Any questions, Heather, regarding those accounts?
And then moving on to the Garden Terrace report. Garden Terrace currently has 86 units leased with 68 on the waiting list, which is quite a jump. I think it was 55 last month. Garden Terrace currently has 2 vacancies. They had 3 turnovers last month, and they have 3 move-out notices pending for October. And they were able to hire a pest control firm. They were having trouble with gophers digging up the front lawn. They report that they have not seen any gophers lately, and they are hoping the issue has been resolved.
But they did well Saturday, the Gophers.
Yeah, that's different gophers.
Oh, okay.
A couple months ago, we approved allowing 6-month leases. Has anyone taken us up on that, or have they all just signed 12-month leases?
I haven't heard of anyone taking advantage of the short-term lease, but we did just refer a new city employee over there that was looking for a short-term lease option.
I'd like to make one comment on the report that's not on here, though. The as you're well aware, the Lee Avenue lot was sold, and now that everybody's looking at the fine print on the purchase agreements and things like that, there are some errors made insinuating that there was water and sewer to the site, etc. Same purchase agreement says there is no water and sewer to the site, and then later on it says there is, and that was submitted by not our realtor, but the buyer's realtor. It didn't get caught by their realtor or them. It didn't get caught by our realtor, and quite surprisingly, we didn't catch it either. So there may be a need to have a meeting, special meeting, just to deal with that particular issue if we can't resolve that between staff and the buyer. It's a slight bump in the road, but it's just one of those things that interpretation of our initial paperwork, basically said there is no water and sewer. And so how that got into the purchase agreement, I don't really understand, but that may come back to get resolved rather fast, so then we'll send out a special meeting notice if we have to have one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any other comments or questions? Heather? Anything? Hearing none, motion to accept the report would be in order.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second accepting the Economic Development Authority administrative activities for the month of August 2014. Any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. The authorizing public housing program claims. Heather? Any comments or questions about any of them that you may have, or anybody?
My only comment is I see that in recent months, or maybe it's been longer than that, supply charges out at Menards have been quite high. Is there a significant cost savings to going out to Menards for these versus our perhaps core businesses, or is it justified with the time that's spent in traveling out there for staff?
I don't know, I could have a discussion with maintenance about that. You're saying you would prefer Retzloff's?
Or local businesses.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because we do have two local businesses in terms of lumber yards, et cetera,
Mhm.
as well. Any other comments or questions? Motion to authorizing payment be in order?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved and second authorizing payment of public housing program claims for September 9th, 2014 in order filed. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. The 2015 budget for EDA General Fund. Mr. Vorwerk?
Commission President and Commission. Basically, this is a status quo budget here. There's not really any changes. I've kind of written up a little bit on it. Basically, the general fund, or the EDA general fund, is maintaining operations. Overall, the expenditures decreased by 2.98%. There is no levy increase since we were already at the levy max last year. It hasn't decreased enough yet to not use reserves yet. We have built in the interfund loan once again for the affordable housing TIF. There is one typo though on the small increase in wages. It's actually 3%. But you will see that the salary still decreased overall. That's mainly due to just a reallocation of their time as far as where they spend most of their time. It's more on the other things rather than just the EDA itself. So it's more towards the housing side, I believe. So other than that, it's pretty much status quo.
Any questions of Mr. Vorwerk, Finance Director, or comments?
And just having the 3% in, that's just a placeholder. That's not a guarantee that, you know,
Right.
that will be the final wage. We usually look and see what happens for the last 12 months in December, backwards 12 months to see what the CPI is and make adjustments at that point. But it's the same number we utilize for the city budget. And you got to put something in there.
Yes. In going through the budget, did anyone notice any questions, comments, corrections needed? Hearing none, motion to approve the budget.
I would make a motion approving the resolution and waive the reading regarding the 2015 budget for EDA General Fund.
Second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second to approve the resolution, waive the reading, approving the 2015 budget for EDA General Fund. Any discussion, comments, or questions? Hearing none, Heather, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Burke?
Yes.
Commissioner Gugesberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Gusted?
Yes.
Commissioner Schipp?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallers?
Yes.
And President Rockvam?
Yes, the motion is carried. Item 5B, consider motion approving the realtor contract for Milford Heights Subdivision. Heather.
Okay. Several years ago, we made the decision to list the Milford Heights properties with a local realtor to facilitate the sales. This started, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago now. Century 21 was the realtor that came to the table with an offer, and contract came up for renewal. Again, they were the only realtor that came with a proposal, so it's been with Century 21 for several years now. Contract is expiring, so we went out for proposals again. This year we received 2 proposals back. Century 21 is offering to keep their contract with the same terms we have now. 3% commission on house sales and $1,000 flat fee for any vacant lot sales. And Valley Property has come in offering to match their proposal. So we, I guess, need to make a decision which realtor proposal we would like to accept for the upcoming year.
Okay,
How many houses have we sold under the present arrangement with the realtor?
3 maybe?
4?
four, I think it's four.
3 or 4. And no lots? Or have there been
One
Well,
lot?
there was one lot sale, but that actually was a private sale between the EDA and the buyer because
Yeah.
that was not a lot that was actually listed for sale.
Yeah.
That was one we would have built on. And the buyer came to us and said, I really want that lot.
That lot, yeah.
So that was actually handled privately.
Yeah.
And it's, if memory serves correctly, even though Century 21 was a listing agent, that doesn't necessarily mean they were the selling agent.
Correct. Any other comments, or?
I mean, are you guys happy with Century 21? Do we have any reason to move from them? They were
No,
kind of
I-
the ones that came to the table first.
They were the only one that came to
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my thoughts too. They were the ones that did it 3 years ago. We haven't had a problem yet. Why would we want to? I mean, for the same price, it don't seem rude to now to switch it.
Switch.
Right.
Was there any other indication in the proposals other than the rate for the sale? I mean, any indication that marketing would be different, or for all practical purposes, these are identical bids, correct?
Correct. I did, when Valley Properties submitted their proposal, they talked about the 3% commission on the house sales, didn't mention the lots at all. So I contacted them and, inquired, are you not interested in the lots? Or, and I guess it was just an oversight. So they just said, well, we'll match what Century 21 is doing. They're really the same proposal, but we have a good relationship with Century 21, and I see no reason to make a change.
Any other questions or comments? We're going to need a motion either for item 1, Century 21, or 2, Valley Properties at the same rates of 3% commission for spec houses and a flat fee of $1,000 for a lot sale.
I'd make the motion authorizing staff to sign a contract with Century 21 for the Milford Heights Subdivision at a rate of 3% for spec houses and a flat fee of $1,000 for each vacant lot sold.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that the staff should sign a contract with Century 21 Realty for the Milford Heights Subdivision at a rate of 3% commission for spec houses and a flat fee for $1,000 for each vacant lot sold. Open for discussion. Comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you. Item 6A, consider the budget approval for the Garden Terrace locations. Heather?
Okay, the budgets are prepared by Lloyd Management and sent over for review. This is the first year in several years now that they're recommending holding the rents flat for the upcoming year. We've been increasing the rent annually for several years to achieve market rate, and the current rents are comparable to other market rate rentals that have recently come online in New Ulm. We've got one that just opened and another one that opened, I guess it's been almost a year ago now already. And their rents are very comparable to the Garden Terrace rents.
Yeah, we've had approximately 75 units, open up in the last year.
Yeah.
And we're anticipating 2 more, approximately under 90, but 80 to 90 units next year. So maybe this is a good opportunity just to kind of sit back and maintain and see what that impact is on our facility. I don't know that it's making any impact at this point in time.
Mhm.
Not that we don't have any of the units that are empty, so.
I noticed one item on the utilities on Garden Terrace 1. The electrical jumps from 13,000 to 75,000. I wonder if that's a typo.
Let me look at that.
Yeah.
Change things in the bottom line.
Where are you seeing that? Garden Terrace 1, utilities. Oh, yes. I believe that should be 15,000. Good catch.
What kind of vacancy rate do they plug in for the projections? Do you know offhand?
Sorry, say that again?
What kind of vacancy rate, as far as the income projections? Do you know what they have allotted there for?
It was in a report that I got, but I don't note it on here, do I?
Okay. Just curious.
I think I want to say it was maybe they anticipate 2 units a month.
Okay. So there's a buffer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you notice in the rentals, gross potential rents less a vacancy factor. So they do take that into account. I just don't have the figure with me.
Any other questions?
Well, under debt service, are they almost paid for? Is there much left?
Garden Terrace is paid for.
Garden Terrace
Terrace
is
1.
paid
Terrace
for.
1, it's paid.
Garden Terrace 2, we have a couple years to go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We
I'm
made an
thinking-
extra payment last
Thinking
year.
2019.
Yeah.
So on Garden Terrace 1, it shows 111,000 for debt service.
Garden Terrace.
That is the depreciation. That's depreciation is what
Yeah.
we put there.
So there really isn't
Not
a
sure,
debt.
I didn't see what they sent, so.
Yeah, I
There
worked
isn't a
with
debt
Nicole
payment
on
per se,
that.
though.
Okay.
On the building.
No, that's just depreciation.
Any other comments or questions? Heather or Mr. Holbrook, either one of them?
Yeah, really the only item to note was that we're not budgeting a rent increase. Everything
Increase.
else is pretty.
And that we're making a
status
change from
quo.
75,000 to 15,000.
Yes.
Interesting.
That would increase the net cash flow by $60,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
113.
13, yep.
Yep.
Yep. So it does demonstrate that we do go through these things.
We do look at them,
you know,
yes.
and check them out. Yeah.
Really, so it's going to 113, the 111 depreciation is a cash flow. Now we're up to 240,000 in cash.
Effective net
cash
flow.
Right.
Yes.
So do we need to worry about what we do with that money now, or is that something we worry about later? Or is that just always just keeps accruing in there?
Well,
I
the
think this
thought
would
is
be-
to build the cash and then retire Garden Terrace 2 earlier than anticipated.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the 2015 Garden Terrace 1 and 2 annual budgets would be in order?
Need a motion.
Need a motion, yes. Yeah, I'm asking for a motion, yes.
Right. I would make a motion approving the budget for Garden Terrace 1 and 2 with those errors noted for the annual budget.
A second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and second approving the 2015 Garden Terrace 1 and Garden Terrace 2 annual budgets with the noted corrections. And any comments or questions? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried.
Commission Chair Rockham?
Yes.
May I ask one question here? On that subject of the cash and so forth and paying off debt early, is that, in the past, we've always come to the board to ask if we can use that cash. Is that something that you want me to keep doing, or is that something you'd want to give the authority to do, to just occasionally retire some debt and then just let you know.
Feelings on that?
I'm just
If it's
asking.
retiring the debt, I don't think he needs to come to us to ask permission. And we've already, in my opinion, we've already stated that's what we want to do with it, so.
I think the history, we've wanted to keep a reserve in case there were some major renovations, then we would have the cash. So
Right.
I see nothing wrong with continuing with what we are doing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or comments about that? Okay, the last item on the budget, or on the agenda today, is item 7, report of the Economic Development Corporation Coordinator regarding activities during August. It's an interesting report. You see that he's keeping busy meeting people and making phone calls and things like that. Any comments or questions about Mr. Toll's report? Hearing none, all in favor, I need a motion. And a second.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and second accepting the New Ulm Economic Development Corporation Coordinator's report regarding activities during the month of August 2014. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Is there any other business that should come before the commission at this time? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned at 7:56 a.m. on the proper date.